Welcome to the first episode of How It Happened. My name is Jiven.
My name is Gabriel.
Today, what we'll be talking about, Gabriel?
We'll be talking about the Salad Show's latest short film, Salad Show, created by Jiven. It's called My Stepmom and I.
If you haven't watched it, please do go watch it because this is going to be a
Spoiler-filled episode.
So it's going to be everything will be spoiled.
To be honest, if you haven't watched My Stepmom and I, just stop the video right now, go and watch that, and then come back here.
We are going to share about some of the behind the scenes that happened in the show.
And you'll appreciate this video more once you've actually watched the original video.
So, this is how My Stepmom and I happened. We split the show into few segments, and the first segment of the day is called
The How. Alright guys, this is The How. And Jiven, I'm going to ask you a few questions that I think a lot of fans at home, the people watching at home, would be interested in knowing. So, the first question that I want to ask you, Jiven, is what was the inspiration behind My Stepmom and I? What drive you to create this?
To be honest, My Stepmom and I was not a story about a mute girl and her mother.
It wasn't even supposed to be on YouTube.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be on YouTube. It's not that kind of video. But the idea was, it was supposed to be a romantic film about a mute girl and a guy in a store. So he's discovering how this girl finds music as a language. But unfortunately, they made an Indian movie about it.
Oh.
So they did the movie. So this was the first script I ever written.
The first draft.
The first thing I wrote when I started the channel.
Oh.
So the script has been in for 6 years? 7 years?
So it's been in the cabinet for 6 years.
Six to 7 years probably. And then we changed it. Initially we wanted Jen Chia to play the mom.
Oh.
Then eventually we decided you know what? It's okay. We're gonna find new people. And then Haikal happened.
Yeah.
So once Haikal happened, we decided, okay, let me change the script a bit more to the Haikal universe.
Because you want to get those views, right?
Wasn't the views. We just
I think you just felt like you could connect the stories together.
Yeah, connect the stories together. And the idea of a kid having this kind of trouble, being mute, and also people telling them how do someone like that express themselves? And a lot of people have been commenting that, my short films had a lot of dialogues. So I just wanted to have one short film where the character can't talk.
Challenge yourself
Challenge myself. So that was the main inspiration of the video.
I think that's how you were inspired to make your channel as well, right? It was to challenge yourself to create new ideas.
Constantly challenge myself. So it was pretty much that was it. So we did. So I just decided to make the character not to speak at all, and everyone has to react to the character.
And it worked out.
It worked out. I hopefully did because because a lot of people are watching it, which is great.
So I think you just gave us the answer of how you were inspired to make this, and you also gave us the amount of time it took to write and develop the story.
Oh, it took so long.
So I want to ask, how was the process of developing each of the characters?
The process of developing the characters was okay, here's a cheat code that I feel that I usually use. If you cast the right people, 80% of your work is done. Because they will develop their characters.
That's true.
All I have to do is tell them, okay, this is the layout framework of your character. Your character has to say this, has to say that, and that's all it has to be.
But usually as a scriptwriter, when you write the characters in your script, how do you already have an image of them in your mind while you're writing?
I do. At certain points I do. Like I said, I wrote the script initially for Jen, and I wanted Jen to play the mom. And then I realized that, okay, she's a bit too on the funny side.
She's a bit young also.
A bit young, and her personality is so well known. People would not accept her as a stepmom. People would accept her only as Jen Chia.
Yeah, but so Jen, if you're ever interested in working with us on a short film, let us know. HMU.
I was about to say holla at us. But you could holla at us. So that was the idea. And the hardest character to write was actually, surprisingly, the hardest character to write was my character.
Mr. Raju.
Mr. Raju was the hardest character.
Yeah.
Usually that character is the most grey character because that character has to be the voice of the government where he cannot do much.
He can't pick a side.
He can't pick a side, so he has to be so neutral to the point.
Yeah.
And he has to be same time as the guy is the bad guy.
It makes you realize how difficult teachers have it.
Yeah, it's the most difficult character to write. So the point is like, how do you show him not being an asshole
Yeah, to the mom.
to the mom? But at the same time, the characters like the mom and the kids are very, very easy to know who are which side, because the girl is very much trouble. But a character like that as a grey character where people generally wouldn't like them, they see them in a negative light.
That's
But at
true.
the same time, teachers are not negative. They're trying to be protective, but they are bounded by so many rules.
They're viewed as being like
That
negative. People,
So you can't really show them. They're not really the bad person.
they're just trying not to be biased towards
Yeah,
anyone,
to bias. But after that, there was the mom's character. Like, one of the justification we had to do was, how do we make this mom like this girl?
Actually, one of the things I liked about My Stepmom and I was how you could really tell that the mom wasn't really prepared to be a mom.
Yeah.
She's new to it, but she's never had a kid before. Obviously, she didn't have to go through the pregnancy and all that, so she's kind of dropped into the whole family situation.
Yeah.
I think you wrote that quite well. I mean, you're not a mom now.
But either way, the script, the scene that was changed the most was the restaurant scene when the mother slaps the kid.
The cafe.
The stepmother slaps the
Yeah.
kid. We changed the scene because initially it's supposed to be in a grocery store. So the idea was, Sweta sort of like wanders around in the grocery store, and then people who give the cups,
Samples, is it? The samples.
samples. So one of them supposed to be talking to Sweta, and then Sweta just drinks it, and then she asks what's Sweta's name, and Sweta gives it in sign language, and that lady pities Sweta, and the idea of Sweta is she doesn't like to be pitied, so she throws a tantrum there, and then the stepmom step in, and then they fight, and they argue. Conflict happens. Everyone. So it is actually a bigger scene, and then she slaps Sweta.
Wow.
So the idea of the thing
It's a
is
bit more intense, lah.
it's supposed to be a bit more intense, but the idea is we didn't have a budget for a grocery store,
That's true.
and we couldn't get permission to shoot it. So
cafe it is.
we brought it down a bit more. And I want to say, if you see the scene properly, the person who acted very well in that scene, beside the main cast, is the people behind the scene, like the Calafes and our art director Daphne was actually in the scene.
You gotta improvise now. You gotta improvise in front of the camera and behind the camera.
If you look at the camera, if you look at the framing when the mom is talking to Sweta, you can see Daphne in the background reacting to the whole situation. She was such a good actress, Daphne.
Natural, huh? She's a
Natural.
So everyone that did My Stepmom and I was a very good actor.
Yeah,
Which
everyone.
is why I was not involved.
But I was involved. Do you know I was the most horrible actor in My Stepmom and I?
Clear to see, lah.
which we will talk about it in the next segment, which is called
The Problems. Alright, guys. Now it's time for The Problems.
So what's the problem?
What was the problem?
What's the segment is all about?
This segment is talking about all the hardships, the struggles,
The issues that we face during
the
shoot.
pain crew
So-
members have to face.
So if you would ask me some of the issues that we faced during the shoot, was mainly the first issue that we faced during
It's
the
him.
shoot. Is besides me, it's actually finding the main talent, which is Ivanka. We took so long to find it because, as I said, the script was ready 6 years ago. And we already had this idea draft out, and with Haikal we just connected it to the universe. But other than that, we needed a kid to play mute.
Oh,
So it's not very easy because they had to learn sign language.
yeah.
So we didn't know how to translate it to sign language, one. And second thing is, we didn't know any kid who can pull off this kind of emotions. I mean, you can't.
I could have.
You couldn't. But so we had auditions for a lot of kids actually. We actually auditioned about 15 kids.
Oh.
We actually auditioned about 15. I think it's about 15 kids we auditioned. And then Ivanka was one of the kids. And Ivanka, when I saw Ivanka, it was immediately, she just looked like the character. She looked like a Sweta.
She looked like what
So,
you imagined.
imagine
when you
lah. So
wrote-
it's
when
like
you wrote the
Sweta,
character.
because Sweta needs to be a bully.
Uh.
She cannot be too scrawny and stuff.
bit
So,
on the strong side.
a bit on the strong side. Okay, but Ivanka was so cute at the same time. So she was so freaking cute.
It made the twist better lah.
It when we revealed that she was a gangster in the story, people didn't expect it. So that was the idea. So that was the main problems that we face is finding someone like Ivanka. So when we found someone like Ivanka, and everything else was like it was speed up. Already.
So like that was some of the issues for pre-production, trying to find the right cast. But in terms of production, when you're on the set, what were the biggest problems you had to face?
I think for production for this,
besides the location stuff,
besides the location, the production for this is one thing is we had to shoot it in a school, so we had to make sure we get school on a weekend.
On a weekend.
Oh, so we had to get prior 2 months or 1 month notice ahead. We had to go and ask permission. We had to get all these permission letters and stuff like that. We got it, and then after that, the biggest issue was filling up the school. We needed extras. A lot extras, and we didn't have the budget, like I said.
To make it look good.
So we had to ask, and then we had to call back the kids of Haikal to come back and act, and all of them were willing except the main girl Hui.
Why?
Her mom just canceled our call, man. She didn't even answer our call. So the rest of the kids came back, and then when we saw the Ben, who Remy played as Ben.
Yeah.
Remy, he grew up so tall.
Yeah, he's tall.
He shoot up. He's taller than Haikal now.
He looks like he's my height.
Yeah. So suddenly he shoot up, and we were like, oh, he's tall now.
But it's normal, right?
It's normal
for boys.
So and then another thing about what we faced during production was, we actually reshot the scene in the car. You know the final scene where the mother and
where they reconcile.
They reconcile. That scene was actually shot outside the school initially, and that scene took 4 hours because the sunlight was so hot.
Oh,
we had to shoot under a strong light. So, and then the scene was so messy, so we reshot that scene again. That scene was reshot, I think 1 week before the release.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so if you see the audio for that scene, it'll be slightly noisy because and then we went to the restaurant. It was so noisy, we dubbed the whole scene.
You had to dub the whole thing.
Dub the scene. And fun fact, my voice is actually in the video. That's another character. I actually play the father.
Yeah, you know that scene where is the scene where the apartment one,
the apartment
where they're yelling at each other.
Yelling at each other actually is my voice. I mean, since I said it, it's very obvious. It will be very obvious to you.
But none of the people realize.
That was one of the biggest issues that we faced. That during production. But post-production is the reason why the film was delayed. Because we were supposed to release this in December.
Oh.
And then, supposed to release this in January.
Yeah.
But what happened was we were trying to secure rights for music. So securing rights. So fun fact, if you want music to be used in a short film, you need to get permission from the artist. Like when we did Haikal, we got the permission to use the song, but we cannot monetize the video. We hit 4 million plus views and we didn't make 1 single cent out of the monetization. So for this, I was very particular. Okay, you know what?
YouTube.
Even if I get 100 views, I want to make some money out of this. So I asked permission from everyone. And then the problem was, nobody responded. So nobody responded in time. So what we did was we looked for royalty-free music and we used that instead. And we asked Chris. Chris is the guy who does my music for Hellos. His name is Chris Young. He does EDM. He's such a good musician.
Shout out to Chris.
So I asked him for a favor, and he did the music for the the father and mother talking scene. That music he did, and the scene where the final scene where the mother reconciles with the daughter. That scene.
Wow.
And the father and daughter talking to each other. The crying scene. That was all done by him. The music was done by him.
Quite good, huh?
He's excellent.
The music makes the scene also.
The music makes the scene. And another problem was during editing this, Sweta is mute.
Yeah.
So during her scene, if there's no music or anything, how do you keep the audience attention?
With music lah.
So no, the opening shot doesn't have any music.
Oh.
So that was something challenging to me. It's like, how do I edit this without there's no dialogue beat to it? So it's like, oh my god. And there's no music beat to it. So it has to be, you have to do it with your feeling lah. So
So the
literally,
actors really carried the scene.
actors. If there was not a good actor in this shot, it wouldn't work very well. So everyone acted their part quite well.
So shout out to the actors and the crew who made it happen. Good job, guys.
Also, you have to give a big thanks to the art department. Everyone worked under a super tight budget. Like I said, 3K. They all just came about it and they just did it just for passion.
Yeah.
And when I paid every one of them, they were like, "Oh, we get paid."
That's usually what happens when you work with Jiven. It's like,
Yeah,
wait,
I don't pay.
I'm getting paid.
So that was the sort of like the problems that I faced.
It's time for the best part of the show.
The next segment.
The next segment, which is the reaction.
All right. Now, welcome to the next segment. It's called
The Reaction.
So this is basically where we feature comments on the video, the comments that people made.
YouTube comments.
Yeah, and the reaction
best
that
criticism you can find.
is the worst criticism you can find. It's like YouTube comments either can break you or can make you.
Yeah. Korean stuff. I can't read Korean. So Leona, she said he should treat her like a wife and a mom, not a maid. Also, he should be blessed having a good wife like her that treat his daughter like her daughter and even accept everything about her. I struggle to understand a little bit of this, but I get what she's saying.
Yeah, I got the most comments that I got was the father. It's a bit an a-hole.
But I mean, I can kind of see where they're coming from because he's not really helping her to convince Sweta. But as you have to put yourself in a father's shoe,
Yeah.
you know, he understands his daughter well. He knows that for her, it might not, just because he says it, she might not agree to it. So he kind of gives her her own space.
Yeah, but the idea was the both of them were grieving at the same time. And then his way of grieving is, to move on. But he never really noticed that the daughter needs closure as well. And the closure happens when they hug each other.
Yeah.
That's when the closure
there's
happens.
nothing wrong with a flawed character.
Yeah, so the idea is the father needs to be very flawed.
Yeah.
The father is not a good father because there's already a good mom, a good stepmom. It's usually the story is
he's not bad as in like he doesn't but he does care for his daughter.
yeah. Is the characters that, because usually when people do a stepmother character, the stepmother is always evil.
Yeah.
It's always evil. But we wanted to make sure
Go
like
into your
stepmother
room.
is actually trying really hard.
Yeah.
And we wanted the father to be not to be evil, but at the same time absent in his daughters.
He's too confident in her. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
believes
too-
that she can take care of herself. When
Yeah.
in reality she needs.
the closure.
Yeah, she
And that's
needs
when
the
they have the
closure.
closure in the shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a flawed character,
Yeah.
and I think if you have that reaction, I think it's kind of good. It's because that reaction actually says a lot.
And okay, so let's move on to the next comment. It's success platform management.
I think this is a YouTube channel.
Great name. Success platform management said, don't like the father using the words Catherine, not mom. It really hurts as a stepmom. The husband does not consider the wife's position.
Actually, that was the whole idea. When he says the line like, "But
Yeah.
you're not her mom," that's when you realize that
He still hasn't moved on.
he hasn't moved on. That's when the stepmom, Catherine has the idea of the reality. But then he's a bit of a asshole for saying it. But I wrote it.
It's the facts.
It's a fact because at the end of the day, somebody needs to say it, and the only person that could justify saying that kind of line would be Sanjay. And yes, Sanjay is flawed. We already have said.
But he's just saying it how it is.
Yeah, so he's just saying how it is, and then he's the one sort of gives the idea like, let's just be friends, make it be a friend. But Catherine does the opposite thing, and
I think what I can observe from the short film is Sanjay is too laid back, but Catherine is too strong. She's coming in too strong, and Sweta's just in the middle. And if you put yourself in Sweta's shoes, you can understand why she acts out.
yeah. So
Just put yourself in her
that
shoes.
was the idea of it, and I think it was not the right thing to say, but it needed to be said
Anyways.
to have the character change the dynamics.
There's always a pivot.
Yeah, to that was the pivot moment. That line is a very important moment because nobody in the story can say it except Sanjay.
See, that's the thing about step parents is that the parent can't say that they're the mom.
Yeah.
The kid has to agree that you're their mom
Yeah.
or their dad, you know.
And the conversation between a step parent is always a very complicated conversation. And I know they have conversation like this, and people usually say the conversation, but they don't show outside the conversation like this. And it was very important to me to show a very raw conversation, yet not make it too in your face kind of conversation. It was really that scene only pulled off because again they acted it so well.
Good job, guys. Next comment is from Maeve Joyce.
Is it Maeve Jones?
Maeve Joes. I
Maeve
don't know.
Joes.
Maeve Joes. I can't believe how much of a brat the kid is. I understand that she's mute and has some family issues, but she is a brat and rude to everyone else. Not all step-parents are this nice, and she needs to learn to appreciate her. I mean, she did at the end.
I mean, okay. Yeah, not all step-parents are nice, but that's the first step-parent she's having.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not step-mom she's having. And then she can't compare it with any other except her mom. So from her mom to that step-mom, it's a huge difference.
It's hard for her to accept. Like.
Yeah, and the mom, like, she hasn't got over the death of the mom. So she's going through an emotion and she can't tell anyone about how she's feeling because she can't speak. She's mute.
Yeah.
So there's complications. That kind of character is going to rebel. And that's why we showed her bullying.
Yeah, there's no excuse for her being a bully, but there is a reason for why she's We're not saying that bullying is good or like the way she acted was acceptable. No, she was a brat. She is a brat. She's acting rude to people, but there's a source for why that's happening. Yeah. It's because of her situation.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people need to understand that bullies are not out there to kill people or to bully people. They are there because they have some flaws.
They hurt inside as well.
They are hurt inside as well. And that was the idea of Sweta's character, is she's hurt in some way. And that's what we wanted to show.
And that's all the
comments. There were many more comments. There was about 300 to 400 comments. But this is a few comments that our producer Shaianne Delaney Sarut.
Shout out to Shaianne Delaney Sarut,
who found out I was comment. And we have come to the end of the show. Are we doing this as a podcast?
Sure. Our show/podcast.
Our show. I mean, this was initially supposed to be just
Showcast
a showcast. Welcome to. Oh my God, we should call it
a showcast.
This is a showcast. Welcome to a showcast, guys.
All right, guys. So this has been how it happened. How My Stepmom and I
happened. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any question regarding any of our short films, any of our previous videos, or even our Stepmom and I, leave a comment below and let us know. And also you can DM us on our Instagram, tag us on Instagram at Salad Show or at Jiven Sekar. Yours will be.
Yeah. You can also DM me at Gabriel Noah Pouchny.
Yeah, we will link it up.
Also follow me.
Yeah, you can follow me, not follow me, dislike me, whatever you want to do.
Block him.
Block me.
Block Jiven, but don't block Salad Show.
Yeah. But thank you so much for listening or watching how it happened. This is the first episode. We are still learning it. So stay tuned to the next episode. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share, like, and thank you so much for watching.
Thanks so much for watching. I'm Gabriel.
I'm Jiven.
And this is
How It Happened.